Okay, let's go to session 4, the Pray and Go Hanger and the Prayer Center. This is really granular. There's a lot of details, but I really want to be able to give clarity to these things that you need to know. Once again, let me just make it very, very clear. You can change this. This is not, it's somewhat of a plug and play, but at the same time, it has a lot of adaptability. And there are going to be issues with your context, your church, your community, your congregation, I could go on and on, where you need to make some shifts. Don't hesitate to do that. The good thing about our website, and you can be able to go there, we'll be updating it on a regular basis. So as new ideas come in, new resources come in, you can come there and maybe you will even be able to add some ideas to it. So we'll, as we hear from you about Pray and Go, we'll continue to adapt. That's the advantage of having a digital model that is out there. But in the meantime, you adapt as you need to go. You adapt as you use Pray and Go. But allow me to do this. Allow me to give some principles and some overarching issues even as we get more and more granular. And we're going to cover two things here. We're going to cover the Pray and Go hanger, the thing that you actually hang on the mailbox or that you hang on the door. We do have an example here on the website. It is something that you can use, replicate without permission, but obviously you got to put your church name in there because it's not the name of your church that's on there. But you can use it any way you want to, or you can adapt it. The key is, and this is where I want to begin, simplicity is the key. Here's an example. Many years ago, churches started saying, let's get guests to fill out cards. And so guests started filling out guest cards, visitor cards. I think there were visitor cards back then. And someone would say in the music department, hey, put on there if they're interested in our choir, or even in those days, handbells. Ask them if they're interested in that. And so that they would put that on there and they could check off. And someone in the groups ministry said, ask them about groups. And so they put that, are you interested in groups ministry? And then someone in the prayer ministry, and then someone in the children's ministry, and then someone in the student ministry. Oh, while you're at it, someone in the stewardship area said, find out if we can send their envelopes. Back in the days when most churches were using offering envelopes. And all of a sudden, the guest card became a book. And it just was check. And it was overwhelming in its appearance and overwhelming in its ability to be used. Don't let that happen to the Pray and Go hanger. The example that we have here on the site is a very simple one. There is no reason why you cannot use it as is, putting in the appropriate name, address, and website. But even if you do make modifications, the goal is to make it simple. What do you want the Pray and Go hanger to accomplish? You want someone to read it. And if there's a lot of verbiage on there, if there's a lot of text on there, the likelihood of their reading it diminishes significantly. You want them to know that you came by, someone came by and prayed for their home, their household, the members of that household. You want people to be able to look at it and say, wow, somebody really did pray for me. You don't want all this verbiage, you don't want all this text dealing with all these superfluous issues where somebody just throws it in the trash can immediately. And while that may happen anyway in some examples, more and more people are likely to read it if you keep it simple. So the first thing that I would say is use our template as a starting point. But don't add to it too much. As a matter of fact, if you add, I would even consider you might want to subtract. So you just don't keep on and on and on putting things on here. Simplicity is the key. Back to guest cards, just as an aside, those guest cards that get returned are the guest cards that request the least amount of information. And in some churches, it's just name and email address with a note here. Do you have any prayer requests if they want to put anything there? I mean, the simplest guest cards are those that are being more frequently returned and are effective. Same thing with the Pray and Go hanger. Simplicity is the key. Okay, having said that, what are some of the elements that you should include on the Pray and Go hanger? Church name, obviously important. Church name, address, obviously important. And hear this, put the physical address of the church. Do not put a P.O. box, because you want people to put that address into their GPS system if they decide to attend. And if you have a P.O. box number, they're not going to put it in there, and they may not even show up. So put your physical address, 7900 22nd Avenue North, St. Petersburg, Florida. Put it in there so that people will indeed know where you are and know how to put it into the GPS. Church name, physical address, not a P.O. box, and the website. So those are minimalist types items, and they don't have to take up a whole lot of space, but put those 3 items in there, your church name, your address, and a website. This next one is key as well. Have a special email for any prayer request. A special email. Let's suppose for a moment that the name of your church is Community Church. By the way, Jonathan and I have used communitychurch.com. It's just a generic example for churches, and we found out it's really a site of a church. So don't use this address. It's just an example. But let's say that your church is Community Church, and your web address is communitychurch.com. You need a special email address for any prayer requests that come in. Example, this is an example, wepray@communitychurch.com. You don't want a person's name in there because people can change. Other people may want to volunteer for this, the people who are monitoring the site and responding to it. But you want a unique email address where someone is looking at that email inbox on a regular basis looking for prayer requests to come. So put your email address just for prayer requests. Okay? So now, what do they have? They have the church name, they have the address, they have the website, and then a place where if they have additional prayer requests, and you can just say, if there are any needs that you want us to pray for you, send them to wepray@communitychurch.com or whatever you want to do. Something very simple. Praying@communitychurch.com, prayers@communitychurch.com. A simple email address where that inbox will be monitored by someone or some people who are looking for these prayer requests coming in on a regular basis. Then the hanger needs a brief note and explanation. Here we've given you a template example. You can use it, you can modify it, but here's a template example. I stopped and prayed for your home. You may want to say I stopped and prayed for members in your home or members of your household instead of I just prayed for the home. Please let us know that if we can pray for you in any other way in the future. You can contact us at wepray@communitychurch.com. Do you see what you're doing there? You're letting them know that you were there. You're letting them know that you are there to serve them, and you're letting them know you're there to serve them in the power of prayer. You've given them the opportunity to visit with the address. You've given them the opportunity to ask any questions, but you have not come to that house, that home, the people in there asking for something. All you've done is said, we're praying for you, and if you have other prayer requests, let us know. Watch what happens over time. Watch what happens as you start to get out in the community and you do a few dozen, a few hundred, and then a few thousand. Watch what happens to the number, for lack of a better word, prospects that now want to know more about your church. Not only what happens to the culture of the church, but watch what happens when people start submitting prayer requests. You need a site that is very, very clear, an email address that is very, very clear, a place for people to request prayer. Now here's the reality. There will be a number of people that will get the door hanger and throw it away just like junk mail. That will happen. There will be a number of people who will read it and maybe put it in the recesses of their mind, hopefully to be recalled at some point, and then throw it away. But there will be some people that you're going to be reaching at a God-given opportune time. And those people will look at that address, and they may not email you that day, but probably within short order, they're going to say, would you pray for the following? And all of a sudden, you not only have a going ministry, but you have a powerful praying ministry for your community. Very few churches have a ministry of prayer that is designated for the community, that is active on an ongoing basis. So use some verbiage like this. I stopped and prayed for your home or the members of the household in your home. Please let us know if we can pray for you in any way in the future. You can contact us at wepray@communitychurch.com. Okay? We're about to finish up this little prayer hanger, this just very simple door hanger. Put a place for you to sign or print your name. And I say first name is okay, but I actually suggest first name for privacy concerns, just for security concerns, just the world that we live in. Just sign your first name. Make it personal. Make sure you have a pen ready, carrying with you in every place you go. You can have pre-signed them before you go, and just show them that there was someone actually there, and you wrote your name there. Your name is Jim. Your name is Susan. Your name is Jonathan. Your name is Amy. Whatever. Put your name there, and they can see that someone personally came and prayed, and they really cared about the home. That's it. That is the template that we recommend for the Pray and Go hanger. Again, you may say, well, Tom, in our community, it would really help to have this. Okay, understand. But make it a minimalist Pray and Go hanger. Make it as clean as possible. Make it as easy to read as possible. Make it as accessible as possible. Do everything. Think about the person on the other side. Think about the person picking this up rather than how much information you can put on here. That is really, really it as far as the Pray and Go hanger. Just to emphasis once again, sign it. So it doesn't just look like something that was produced on a printing press and then thrown around the place. Okay, let's now shift gears and talk about the prayer center. You not only have a prayer card, but another thing that you need to have is a prayer center. Now, a prayer center sounds like this elaborate organization. It's not. It could be one person if that person is diligent. It could be 2 or 3 people, but you need someone who is monitoring the prayer requests that are coming in. It is imperative that someone monitors email. And just as a little bit of a side note here, get someone that actually reads their emails and that cleans out their inbox on a regular basis. I can tell you some people I would never put in charge of this because I don't even think they'd ever get to it. And I was looking at somebody's email inbox on their iPhone not too long ago, and it had 787 in the inbox. I just started going crazy. How do you even manage that psychologically? Get someone who is actually going to monitor the email and that is looking at it really on a daily basis. Keep in mind, some of the prayer requests that you will receive may have a sense of urgency to them. Keep in mind that if it is an emergency, you need to deal with that in an appropriate way, but even if it's not an urgent need, you need to be highly responsive. One of the worst things that you can do is to have a prayer center, having gone out and put these prayer hangers all over your community, and people begin to say they have prayer requests, and it's just a dead end. No one responds. Make certain you have someone responsive who is able to check those emails daily, or either they're sharing it. This person has it on Monday, this person has it on Tuesday. That could get a little messy. I really like one person handling it at the most 2. But someone that is constantly going to that inbox and seeing who is there. So you need someone to monitor these emails. Here's the thing about it. If you're going to hit, again, the example I gave earlier, your community has 10,000, 2,500 homes, there's a good chance that in the first year you're going to have as many as 500 to 1,000 prayer requests come in the first year alone. Now, that's kind of a made-up percentage. That's not research-based. But that's just simply to say that there's a good chance that there will be that many. And if you have, say, 1,000 coming in a community of 10,000, well, what that means is you're going to have 20 emails coming in every week, roughly 3 a day, and you're going to need someone to respond to them. If you take care of them daily, it will not get overwhelming. But if you wait and let them build up, it's obviously going to be emails that will be not responded to in a very timely way. It's imperative that someone monitors emails. Next, it is imperative that someone responds. It may be just simply, hey, we got your prayer request. We have put it in our prayer ministry. That may be the most that you can do. But you need someone that is there that has good common sense and wisdom if they see a prayer request that needs to be referred to someone on staff, a pastor, or someone with a little more expertise, that's fine. But you need someone who has common sense to look at these prayer requests. Most of them are going to be, not we're just, but we will put these in our prayer ministry, and we're going to continue to remember. And that's really cool if they're able to follow up. That's not imperative, but if they can follow up and ask how they're doing, that may be a bit burdensome for many people, many churches to do that. But it's imperative that you have someone respond. If someone takes the time, having read that prayer hanger, see that email address, wepray@communitychurch.com, have taken time, they have such a burden upon them that they've taken the time to request prayer. If you don't respond, they're going to see you as fraudulent in your ministry. They're going to think that you did not really mean it. So take time, have someone to respond to this. What else is imperative? It's imperative that the church or the prayer ministry actually prays for the request. One of the things that used to bother me a good bit as a pastor was someone would say, "Hey, Pastor, can you pray for this?" And I would say, "Sure." And I'd forget about it. And I would maybe cross that person's path a week from them, and I'd say, "Oh my goodness, they asked me to pray," and I didn't even think about it. This day and age, we have apps and we have ways and we have journals where we can keep track of all of those things. But one of the worst things that we could do is just to get a response, to say we're going to pray for it, and then we lie. We don't actually pray for it. Now, that praying for it could be the person right then and there who's responding to the email. That's one way to do it. You have a single prayer intercessor. That's one way to do it. You may have a prayer ministry where these requests go to some people. Just a little aside here. I'm beginning to watch this take place, and it may be because I'm in such an aging state myself as a baby boomer. I am seeing some ministries begin in churches with senior adult prayer ministries. And they're actually going into the church, just to the church facility, say, as an example, on a Tuesday morning from 8 to 10, and they're taking all the prayer requests and they're praying for them. Prayer requests that came through the guest cards, prayer requests that came from the pastor and staff. If you have senior adults doing that, you can then have someone send them, even on a hard copy piece of paper, the prayer requests that are coming in from this ministry to the community. But whatever you do, don't say you're going to pray for someone and then turn around and not pray for someone. I understand that we can get busy and we can forget, but these people have taken the time to write to you and to say, we need prayer. Make certain you are taking the time to pray for them as well. It is imperative that the church, the prayer ministry, or the individuals pray for requests as they come up. Okay? It's also imperative that you're to follow up with any requests that they make, even if you can't meet them. I'll give you an example when we get to the questions in just a moment for you to think about on this. But at the very least, if someone comes up with a prayer request and it's just something the church can't do, be honest with them. Say, we'll pray for you, but as far as having the resources to do what you ask, because some of these people will have an ask in the midst of the prayer request. They will ask something of you beyond the prayer itself. Instead of just praying for us, can you do this for our family? Can you do this? Respond to it, but at the same time, be honest and say, we got that prayer request. We don't currently have the resource. We got your other requests. We don't have the resources for that. But I can tell you that we'll continue to pray that God will provide for you. So even if they have requests beyond prayer, and it's not going to be unusual, in fact, it would be unusual if you did not begin to get some of those type of prayer requests where they say, yeah, here's my prayer request, but here's what I need the church to do for me in addition to just praying for me. Make certain that you are responding to them, even if you can't meet them. And you can train people, or you can provide some type of template that just simply says we don't have this resource, or we're not able to meet this need at the time, but we'll continue to pray for you that God will meet this need. Something simple where they know that you are praying for them. You remember what I said at the onset? I said, don't complicate the pray and go hanger. Well, also don't complicate the prayer center. Don't make it so complex that people don't even know what's going on. As I suggested a little bit earlier, You may have one person that is responsible for it. Somebody's just got a passion for prayer, and they're doing all the interceding. They're doing all their ministry is just to respond. They're responsible and responsive, and they're responding to all of these. Don't complicate it. Don't complicate either the hanger or the prayer center. Please hear me well. The more complex that you make pray and go, the less likely of its efficacy, the less likely of its success. So make pray and go as simple as possible. Keep it clean. And finally, I'll cover this in a little more detail in the next session, session 5. Don't complicate the process. You want something that people can understand quickly, grasp easily, and put into effect readily. Those are the keys in order to have an effective pray and go. Also keep in mind that in this ministry, it is year-round. And so if you overcomplicate it, make the burdens too high, make it too complex, it's going to die. And one of the things that you want to do is to keep this so simple, keep the burden so relatively light that it will just continue to sustain itself even as people are praying for it to sustain itself. So don't complicate the prayer hanger, don't complicate the prayer center, even if the prayer ministry center is one person, and don't complicate the process, which we'll cover a little bit in the next session. Okay, I hope you're beginning to get a little fuller picture of pray and go. We've given you an overview. We've given you the biblical basis. We've given you the high points, the high-level view of it. And now we have specifically gone over the pray and go hanger and the prayer center. So I hope you're ready, because next time we're going to talk about in session 5, making pray and go happen. Just getting it ready to go and make it happen. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pause, put this on stop or pause for just a moment. Whether you're by yourself, you have a group of people, a large group of people, consider these 2 questions. Take time to answer them. 1, if a prayer request comes in for someone asking for money, how would you respond? In other words, we have these financial needs. Can the church provide some money for us? That's going to probably come at some point. How are you going to respond? Be ready for that. And as other responses come in that may be endemic to needs in your community, be ready for responses of those as well. So, okay, answer this question. Someone asks for money. How would you respond? Now, here's another good one. For your community, second question, what do you anticipate the most common request will be? Not the prayer part, but where they add on to the prayer part. Will you pray for my family? Oh, by the way, I need someone to come babysit my younger kids. Can someone in the church do that? I don't know if that'll happen or not. But what do you anticipate in your community some of the requests will be beyond the prayer request? Okay? So for right now, I hope you've gotten the pray and go hanger well. I hope you've gotten the prayer center well. I hope you understand the simplicity is imperative in all of this. Now when we go into session 5, we're going to watch pray and go happen. We're going to go through it step by step, and we will see how it can unfold in your church. Okay, take a break, however long you want it to be. We'll come back on session 5, making pray and go happen. I'll see you then.